Hey guys, how are ya? Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for clicking onto this video. I just want to make a quick video. There's something I saw on YouTube. Video of this. They're calling it a racist restaurant. It must be like a pub, because I think there's night clubbing and all that stuff. In Kenya, right? And what the people were doing was, there used to be I think 3 lines or 2 lines or something, where one was black people had to line up in their own lane, and the Indians and the white people line up in the other lane. And usually more Indians and white people were welcomed, and black people were sort of not welcomed in the club. Even if they got in, they were not treated as nice, right? And people put up with this. People will even go to this club and line up. And one of the amazing things I found about this was the fact that the door bouncers were black. And these door bouncers were the ones who were telling black people to go, hey, get out of there. Go and line up at the back. Or just don't come in here. Black people telling other black people, black Kenyans, telling black Kenyans that. There was an uproar online after they saw this, and obviously, from what I'm hearing, this restaurant has now closed. Now, I have questions, man. To me, a lot of things don't make sense. They just don't make sense whatsoever. Before I even tell you something, I'm gonna say, let me just say this. Just hold your thought there. I heard a story, this is back in the 80s, from I think it's Dr. Kaneni, like he's an African American, Abba Kaneni or something like that. He's one of these, I think what most African American would say a hotep. He's like Dr. Anton Browder in that same sort of category. And he was telling a story. I watched his interview recently of when they started going to Egypt in the 80s. And obviously they'll hang out with the Nubians. If you want to know real history of Egypt, hang out with the Nubians, not the Arabs. I'm just gonna keep it real. So he was hanging out with the Nubians, and he lived on an island with the Nubians, and he befriended a Nubian guy who had like a little boat. And this guy, because they lived on an island, will sort of move him between the two places, right? And when they went there, was one of those huge sort of got this Egypt kind of thing in Africa. In America, I think was just taking root at that time, and there was probably like 1,000 African Americans in different hotels. There was paying customers and everything is good. Now, they were having a seminar one night at this nice hotel where African Americans were, like hundreds and hundreds of them had taken up accommodation there. And he tells his Nubian friend, he said, oh, I'm attending a seminar at this place. If you're doing nothing, you can come with me. And the Nubian is like, okay, cool. And he's like, all right. And then the Nubian goes there, picks him up, and they got to this place. And when they got to the place, I think the Nubian then realized that there was no way, there was no way he was gonna get in. So the Nubian tells Dr. I think it's Kamene, and then he says, what are you talking about? Him being African American, they've gone through segregation and so that stuff. They are aware of, they hate this stuff, and rightly so. So he tells him, like, what are you talking about? It's like, oh, I'm Nubian, I can't go into that hotel. This is back in the 80s in Egypt. And they said, nah, that's not true. Okay, so they go to this hotel, and at the entrance is again a Nubian bouncer there, and he's telling another Nubian he couldn't get in. So he goes, what are you talking? Oh, for him it was just his job, So Dr. I think it's Kamene or something like that, gets really pissed off. He says, you know what? I want you to call whoever is in charge right now and tell him that if this man doesn't get in this hotel, all the African Americans that are staying at this hotel, I'm going to tell them, and all of them are going to leave this hotel if this man can't get into this hotel. And I want you to ring someone in charge. And this guy rang. And I don't know if you know about African Americans, but we've been through segregation and we hate that shit. You know, so the guy understood, got up, and eventually they let the guy in. Right? Why am I telling this story? Because this happens a lot. You know, in Kenya, a country that has been independent for over 50 years, so that's half a century, we still have these things happening. And Kenya is one of those success stories. It's now a low middle income earning country. But we still have that kind of, these stories happening. You know, for me, I'm not even mad at the owner of the shop, who I think happens to be white. I'm not mad at him. That's his mentality, and that's what he wants to do. But he should feel the heat from the get-go to say, nah, you can do it in Europe, you can't do it here. Because here, we don't accept that crap. You know, because the problem we have, this is I just did a video. This is the problem we have. We've downloaded so much crap about ourselves from what we are hearing recently in the world, where, you know, Africans are no good, Africans this, Africans this. We've downloaded so much of that crap. It makes us always take a lower position. And it makes us always accept other Africans to suffer. As long as, hey, it's my job. I got a job, brother. I gotta eat. I gotta feed somebody. Because we've downloaded wrong information. What we should be uploading is the message that's in us. I just did a video where I talked about DNA. There's so much information in that. That's powerful. That's community. That's coming together. But we never download it. We never upload it. We are downloading foreign message. That is messing with our mentality, our mindset, and keeping us low. Because from the get-go, when this guy was given those instructions by the owner and say you can't let Africans in, he should have said, wait a minute, then I can't work for you. And guess what? I'm gonna call up the minister, or I'm gonna make sure you get shut down. I don't even care about my job right now. You can't do that. Then that message will be sent to every investor that wants to invest in Kenya. And no one, when they're in Kenya, gonna think like that. But the problem is, we are so much focused about eating today instead of about eating about 1,000 years and the other people eating. Because of the message we've downloaded. I don't blame the white guy. At this time, we don't need to blame any white person. We just need to blame ourselves. Because there's so much information. You got access to information. You know, there's only... What's poverty? Let me just give you I found a very good definition of poverty that I totally agree with. And that is, poverty is lack of information, lack of resources, and lack of desire. These three things make up poverty. Now, there's information. You know, you can find how to grow potatoes, how to do anything, right? Resources. Africa has resources. You got land. I'm talking about farming here. And in most places, you got free education. And then there's desire. So there's no need, if you really, really want to feed your family, there's no need for you to let the job create a division where your race gets the lower position. Because imagine, if you're working as a bouncer for now, because you're doing something, what you're trying to tell yourself now, that at some point when I try to go up, there's going to be someone like me who's not gonna allow me, who's gonna create that ceiling because I'm black, and they're gonna follow instruction from some dude who's a foreigner who's gonna say, I don't want black people to come up here. You know, or I don't want black people to be CEOs in my company. The same thing is happening in the US. And that's why you have to be very careful with the Indians too. If you look at the US, Google, they've taken over. Microsoft, they've taken over. It's something we all have to think about as black people, especially in Africa. Come on. This shouldn't be happening in Africa anymore. And I'm gonna urge African governments to please invest in your peoples, in the education of your peoples. People need re-educationing, because this should never be happening. That's my thought. We need to find pride in ourselves. We need to download, upload the information that's already in us. Dr. Henry Clark said something that I agree with. You know, being black and beautiful is nothing until we are black and powerful. 100% agree with that. You know, I'm black, I'm beautiful, I'm black, I'm beautiful. We keep singing stuff like that. It's not gonna take us anywhere. We need to be black and powerful. And it's not just about, oh, you need to beat up people as being powerful, but powerful in here, where we put our community first. So that things like, if we are black and powerful, things like that wouldn't be happening. And we need to realize our opportunities. All these things need to get shut down. All institutions in Africa that promote racism need to get shut down. All churches in Africa, I don't care whether it's a synagogue or a mosque, that promote racism, they need to get shut down, because these are the places of major racism anywhere in the world. If you go to any place, I'll give you an example. South Africa, right? Apartheid doesn't exist. Apartheid comes back on Sunday. White people go to a white church, black people go to a black church. Same thing in America. Segregation doesn't exist, but the church on Sunday is segregated. If you go to mosques in England, black people face racism in those buildings. So you gotta start questioning a lot of things, guys. There's a video that I'm gonna do about this religious stuff. We need to start questioning everything, because that's not different from a business that's promoting segregation. Not on African soil. That mentality needs to go. Thank you, guys. Let me know what you think. Please. I like reading your comments. Let's have a conversation. Goodbye. Thanks.